got such a great energy, and I love how you make these discussions so approachable for everyone. Honestly, can't wait to see what you have in store for future episodes. Oh, and by the way, I've been thinking about that topic you mentioned a few weeks ago, Jasmine, mental health and media breaking the stigma. I think it's such a crucial conversation to have, especially now when people are struggling with how the media frames mental health. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and dive into this important discussion.
Absolutely, Dr. Rodriguez. Let's get into it. Media plays such a huge role in shaping how society views mental health, and unfortunately, a lot of the messaging out there still perpetuates harmful stigmas. What are your thoughts on how we can start to break those stigmas and change the narrative?
You're right, Jasmine. Media has a powerful influence on shaping public perception. And when it comes to mental health, it can be either a positive or a deeply negative force. Over the years, we've seen the media sensationalize mental health issues, portraying people as crazy or unstable, and often linking mental health to violence, which only increases the stigma. To start breaking the stigma, the media needs to do a better job of representing mental health issues accurately and empathetically. That means more stories of resilience, recovery, and everyday struggles, and fewer sensationalized accounts that paint people as dangerous or unpredictable. We can also shift the narrative by bringing more real voices into the conversation, people who have experienced mental health challenges themselves and can speak to the realities, not just the headlines.
I love that, shifting the narrative and bringing more real voices into the conversation. It makes such a difference. And speaking of the headlines, I want to touch on something you and I have talked about before, the impact of the media during the pandemic. We saw so much fear being spread every single day. How do you think that affected people's mental health?
Oh, it had a massive impact. The pandemic really showed us just how much the media can overwhelm and shape public perception. Every day, the media, from local radio stations to national newspapers, was pushing new stories about viruses, variants, and worst-case scenarios. It became this ongoing sales pitch of fear. And it wasn't just about keeping people informed, it was about keeping them in a constant state of anxiety. The way the pandemic was reported created a culture of fear where people felt unsafe even in their own homes. It's truly sad how the media overwhelmed the public with this constant narrative of danger. Instead of focusing on how communities were coming together or the mental health resources available, the spotlight stayed on the threat. This really took a toll on people's mental health, leading to increased levels of anxiety, depression, and burnout.
That's so true. I know so many people who just felt paralyzed by the constant stream of bad news. It was overwhelming. So, what would you recommend for people who are still feeling that sense of anxiety from the media, even now?
The first thing I'd recommend, honestly, is to turn it off. You don't have to subscribe to every news outlet, and you don't need to consume the media 24/7. In fact, I'd encourage people to take breaks from the news. Set aside time in your day where you're not checking your phone or tuning into the latest headlines. Another tip is to be mindful of the sources you're consuming. Not every news outlet is focused on balanced reporting. Some are more interested in getting clicks and views, which means pushing fear and drama. Instead, seek out media that offers constructive information, news outlets that focus on community resilience, scientific breakthroughs, or positive stories. And always remember, you have control over what media you let into your life. You don't have to engage with the fear if it's not serving you.
That's such great advice, taking control of what we let in. I think sometimes we forget that we have the power to just say no to constant negativity.
Absolutely. Social media amplifies everything. It can spread positive messages quickly, but it can also magnify fear and misinformation. During the pandemic, people were bombarded not only by traditional media, but by posts, memes, and videos from friends and influencers that spread even more panic. It's like the news cycle never ends on social media, and that constant exposure to negativity has a direct impact on mental health. One of the best things people can do is to curate their feeds. Unfollow accounts that make you feel anxious or overwhelmed. Instead, follow pages and people who promote mental health, positivity, and well-being. Social media can be a tool for connection, but only if you're intentional about how you use it.
I love that, being intentional with how we use social media. It really can be a double-edged sword. Thank you so much, Dr. Rodriguez, for sharing all of this insight today. Before we wrap up, do you have any final thoughts for our listeners?
I'd just like to remind everyone that it's okay to step away from the media, whether it's the news or social platforms, when it feels overwhelming. Protect your mental health by setting boundaries and remember that your well-being should always come first. Seek out resources, talk to trusted people in your life, and don't be afraid to disconnect to reconnect with yourself.
That's such a powerful message. Thank you again, Dr. Rodriguez, for being here and shedding light on such an important topic. And to all of our listeners, remember, you have the power to control what media you let into your life. Be mindful of how it affects your mental health, and don't be afraid to unplug when you need to. This has been Inquire and Inspire, and I'm Jasmine Velasco. Be sure to tune in next time as we continue to explore meaningful topics that inspire change. Until then, take care and stay mindful.
Jasmine, I have to say this conversation has been so empowering. The way we've tackled such a critical issue, mental health and the media, it feels like we've taken a step toward creating real change. Don't you feel that, Jasmine? It's like we're finally shedding light on something that has been overlooked for so long. We're giving people the tools they need to reclaim their mental space, to protect their peace from the chaos of the media. I think that's one of the most important things we can do in today's world, don't you think? And as we continue to have these discussions, I can just see how impactful, how liberating it will be for so many. It's truly a privilege to be part of this movement. I feel like we're only just beginning.